Hi soulmates, you're welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we'll be learning how to make this beautiful pinafore skirt for kids. If this is something you're interested in learning, please stay tuned. So I have my fabric on my cutting table and I'll be using an African print for this. I've gone ahead to cut out the part that I'll be using to gather, and the length of it, I have it at 10 inches because the length of my skirt is 10 inches, but I'd also be adding 2-inch band. And how long it is, I have it like times 4 of my waist measurement, so that when I gather, I'll have a full gathers. So this particular one is what I'll be using for the flap. I have it 7 inches by 7 inches. So I'll go ahead and stitch half an inch on both sides, and it will bring the measurement to 6 inches. This particular strip of fabric, I'll be using it for the crossing part. I have the length at 20 inches by 4 inches. I'll also take this to my sewing machine. I'll close up the top part and also the side part, leaving the down part open, from which I would turn the strip. I'll do this for the 2 pieces I have, and then I'd come back. So I've gone ahead to gather the part for my skirt. I've gathered it up to 20 inches length because my skirt waist is 18 inches. I went ahead and added 2 inches extra, 1 inch each for my zip allowance for both sides. So I'll be using this particular one for the band, and it measures 2.5 inch by 20 inch. I'll set it aside first. So this is the flap and the strip that I've turned, as you can see. So it now measures 6 inch. Remember, I took out half inch on both sides, and I also went out to trim off 1 inch to make the measurement equal, that is 6 by 6. So this part that I left open is what I will be tucking inside of this my band. And so, like I said, my band measured 2.5 inches by length and 20 inches, which is my waist measurement. So the next thing I'm going to be doing, and I have this at two pieces each because I don't want this band to be on fold, because I want to tuck in this other one and sew it. So I went ahead and notched the middle part of my band, and I also notched the middle part of my flap. So I'll be aligning these two together so that I will get this centralized. So you can see I placed it at the part that I notched. So I'll take out my pin and then pin this part, and I also pin the ends of the flap to secure it so it doesn't move about. And also secure the other end. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is to get the point at which I will attach my strip. So from the end of this band, I'm measuring 2 inches. So from that 2 inches, starting from that 2 inches, I will attach the strap so that I will have 2 inches allowance at the end, so that when I take out 1 inches for the zipper, for the zip, I'll be left with 1 inches before the strap. Hope you understand. So I've gone ahead to secure it. Then I'll do this also for the other end. Measure 2 inch from the end, then insert my strap from underneath my band. Please watch carefully what I'm doing here. So please take your time to pin this part so that you will not have to do your work 2 times, and make sure that it is even, it aligns well with your measurement. So you can see I have it exactly 2 inches. So I'll also pin this part. Then the next thing I'm going to be doing, I'll take this over to my sewing machine and I'll stitch it by 1/2 inch. So after stitching it by 1/2 inch, I will flip it open. I'll first of all notch it, flip it open. I've gone ahead to do that. You can see that it is looking neat. So this is the reason why I didn't cut my band or fold. So I also went ahead to hold the other end of my band with a top stitch to hold it in place. So you can see the up part is already ready. So after taking out 1 inch on both sides for my zipper, this is what it should look like. So this is the strap. You just wear it this way. You can cross it at the back or do it straight. Just can just freestyle anyhow you want it to be. So the next step is just to attach our gathers to this band. Already you have your skirt almost, is almost ready at this point. Attach the gathers to the band. Then also I'll be adding lining because I don't want my seam to show, so I'll add lining to the other part. Just watch what I'm doing so you don't get confused. And this lining, you should have it at least 2 times your waist measurement so that you'll be able to make some pleats. You don't want to sew the lining straight, because if you sew it straight it will be too tight, especially at the hip parts, and it will be difficult to work. So I'll take this to my sewing machine and I'll come back. So you can see that our skirt is basically ready. What I love about the skirt is it's very easy to make. It doesn't take more than 30 minutes to make the skirt. So you can see what I did. I also went and make pleats on my lining part. You can see it. So this is the essence of adding that lining, so that you have your work looking neat. So the next thing I'm going to be doing, I will just flip this over and just attach my zipper, then close up the remaining ends, and basically my skirt is ready. So the last part is just to make buttonholes on the two parts of this flap. Then also attach buttons at the strap. You can just attach buttons at different spaces so that it will be easily adjustable. So that should be all from the making of this beautiful skirt. If you enjoyed this video, please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up, and please subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.